All right, we are live. Let's go. So sometimes the podcast might be abnormal. I post it's the same way with my tie-dyes. I do what I want when I want. If I don't feel like doing that, I don't want to do it. Basically, I came to realization that, I've been mobile so much, on the move so much, that I was neglecting my apartment, on a lot. So, instead of hitting the gym twice, I just stayed and cleaned. That's one thing you gotta remember, man, and that's the thing, we don't even know how to acknowledge it until we eventually acknowledge it. So, when you acknowledge it, and I will admit I have acknowledged it before, and I'm just like, I'll do it when I get to it. I do it when I get to it. But the thing is I just keep continuously staying mobile. I just never get to it. Now, it was not, stuff like scattered, materialistic bullshit, because I don't have a lot of materials. It's basically more like food, plates, that I have ate off of, and blah, 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 blah. Just stuff that just needed to be thrown away instead of piled, And, so, stayed in and cleaned. Got it all done, took the trash out, blah, 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 blah. But see, the thing is we don't realize until it hits us, because that's one thing, the way you treat where you live, it really does play an effect on your day. It really does. And eventually the environment, no matter how much you neglect it, eventually it will scream. It will find a way to scream at you. And that's when you realize, man, I really need to clean. I really need to do this. What really made me identify it was reading some of those quotes on depression. Now, I do know staying mobile all the time is a trigger response. And that's one thing, that I'm guilty of through my upbringing. My upbringing, I was a hoarder, very bad. As a kid, I was a hoarder. I did not know how to get rid of anything, so my room was always cluttered, dysfunctional. It was a mess all the time. I had stuff from elementary school, in my room as a middle school. I did not know how to get rid of anything. All I did was just keep it. Anytime I cleaned, it was a constant struggle of, oh yeah, I remember when I got this. Oh yeah, I remember when I got this. Oh yeah, I remember when I got this. Oh yeah, that was a good time. Oh yeah, I never get rid of anything. Never ever. I remember taking me anywhere. I remember my parents would take me to a car show. I didn't like cars. I just wanted to go just to get magazines, and I would get every single magazine, and guess where those magazines went? They went in my hoarding ass room. It was bad. It was very bad. My room was so fucking mess. I was a hoarder at a very young age, and through minimalism and stability, I have found you really don't need all that bullshit. But, got everything cleaned in my apartment. And I didn't go to the gym the second time, but, it's whatever. Sometimes, staying mobile is a trigger response. And I do know there's a lot of people who will deny it. They will deny it. But literally, if you're constantly staying on the move, make sure to check what you might be neglecting. You could be, maybe you have a clean house, but maybe you have a pet. I've seen that several different times in life. Oh yeah, you can live in the nice apartment. You got it all cleaned and blah, 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 blah. But how's Roscoe the dog doing? How's Nippy the cat doing? How's their bull? How's their eating? You taking them out and exercising them and stuff, Are they getting the exercise they need? And there's a lot of animal neglect because And basically, animals are looked at as an accessory more than a living being, That's the sad thing about our reality. Everything revolves around the human. We don't want to revolve around anything. Heck, we're even selfish towards our own people, for crying out loud. But came to acknowledge, some, just cleaning everything. I don't know, it's just very hard for me to it's hard for me to find encouragement to keep clean, when it comes to my living condition, because honestly, I don't like my apartment. I don't like the thought of paying rent. I don't like the thought of any of that. I don't like it. I just pay there to sleep. Life is going 24 hours a day, and I have to make a pit stop at this expensive one bedroom for what? Just to sleep? Because I'm not one of the materialistic motherfuckers who turn their apartment into a comforting prison cell. You know what I mean? I don't do that. I don't keep bullshit in my apartment. But I am trying to get into a habit of, working out more in my apartment too. So that way I get an extra workout in my apartment before I go to the gym. And even after I get off the gym, go eat, get a workout, and then too, like in my apartment. The thing is like, I was a very severe reclusive kid growing up. So I naturally have reclusive tendencies that are really bad. But I have gotten better at it, though. I have gotten better at it. That could be why I don't like my apartment. I don't like the thought of paying so much money just to sleep, I don't like it, I'm on the go all the time. I don't ever come home until it's time to sleep. Because life is continuously going. Do you really think I'm going to waste time, like, in my apartment, binge watching and whatever, while there's a whole thing of life going on? You gotta be kidding me, man. If the Reaper would have come to get me, what am I gonna do? Oh, please, not today. Not today, man. Please, I got so much to live for. Please don't take my life. Oh, no. The Reaper's just gonna look at you like, you are a liar. You are a liar. Reaper will take you, no problem. And see, I was having a conversation with one of my friends today, because I was in deep thought today, okay? So, one of my supervisors, they're dealing with a lot. They're dealing with a lot of deaths in their family lately. So, I made them a tie-dye shirt on me, And, I was just thinking, when I was, packing it up and everything, I'm just thinking to myself, in life, we run a lot from our emotions. We really do. We run a lot from them. We never express our emotions because in society, we are taught to hold our emotions in, never to express anything. We are all just dysfunctional human beings, We keep all that in. But when a death is to come in the family, that's when reality it's a big slap in the face. It's just like, boom. You get hit with a reality check real quick. And then what? Just crying all over the place. And it's like, what the Did y'all motherfuckers even spend time with that? Did you guys even spend time with them? What are you crying for? You know what they're crying for? Regret. Regret hits harder than anything. Because you know what? They realized that they had a living human being that was in relation with them. Blood or not. They were in, the same areas as you. Like maybe irregularly or regularly, but they were a familiar face. And now that's another familiar face that is never going to be seen by your two eyes ever again. So what do? Oh yeah, I remember when they would walk in and Say hi. Just something as simple as that. I have seen people just literally go all balls to the wall because someone died, but yet they hardly ever said 2 words to the person when they were alive. It's just like, what the heck? It's because regret hits harder. Regret hits harder than anything. And guess what? It is something that you gotta live with for the rest of your life. It's the same concept with animals, but the thing is we don't look at it how it should be looked at, Thing is, we look at it, when an animal dies. Oh yeah, Roscoe was a good dog. Was always there for me when I needed him. Yeah, good dog. But in our reality, the burial and everything for the dog, it was, okay, you did good. Good job. Yeah, you showed respect to the dog. But how were you treating that dog during the whole time? A lot of neglect, a lot of, making the dog more codependent than it should have. Because, dogs are naturally pack animals, and you were totally restricting them of their natural instincts, by neglecting them. Say you're going on dates all the time and you just neglect your dog, forget to feed it sometimes, forget to water it sometimes, take it out for like 3 minutes and you just got home, take them out 3 minutes. Like, that's a lot of mental terrorism if you tell me, man. But, that's kind of just the concept of everything. It's like, man, it's kind of gets, but it's kind of like if people looked at their pets, as they did, like a relative actually dying, regret would hit like 1,000,000 times harder, because you will realize, man, Roscoe was in my life all of his life. Man, I wish I treated Roscoe better. Well, why didn't you? It's because we all have a dysfunctional mind. We don't know how to think like that. As humans, we are sculpted to be selfish for our own well-being. And if we can take advantage of something, we will. Even take advantage of our own people. Because we do that every day. We take advantage of our own people every single day. But yeah. So, like, when death hits a family, it's like a big slap in the face, because, there's so much neglect in families. Y'all be at each other's throats majority of the time. But, when one dies, you got nothing but good to say. But, here I am sitting in the corner. It's like, what the weren't you guys arguing all the time? What the Because they regret arguing so much. They won't come out and say that, though, because they got a pride, they got an ego that they got to hold on to, but let them say their piece, let them lie if they got to, but deep down they know why it's hitting so hard. But the thing is, they will not come out and say it because they got pride, ego. Will they let the family member rest in peace, or will they still talk about the times they won in arguments? Who knows? I've seen some pretty dysfunctional people talk about the dead like as if they were still living, and it's like, will you let them rest in peace? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? But, yeah, that was a deep thought. I love going into deep thought because I start seeing things more than what I did. There's sometimes I'll be in deep thought and I'll recognize things I should have recognized it with my naked eye saw. Now that song just went in my head. But yeah, I should have saw with my naked eye, like, while I was there. But the thing is like, sometimes I talked so much that I just don't realize certain, because, man, I'm not one to read on body language. If you got something to say to me, just say it. I don't have time to be reading up on your body language because, life is going, time is going. Let's get a good conversation going before I have to leave. You know what I mean? So, half the time, I don't know sometimes. And, one thing that I told one of my friends, I'm like, yeah, if I've noticed some body language, blah, 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 blah. And like, if you need to talk, like, please feel free. I want you to have the same amount of freedom that I have. I come to you for, anything that I got to talk about, because I know you like listening to me and everything that I got to say, but know that you got the same freedom as me. So if you got something to say, you want to talk to me, you let me know. Because I don't know, I noticed some body language in my deep thought. I do that every night pretty much, where I just zone out and I just go in deep thought, and I just analyze everything that was through my day, because it's something that my caseworker taught me to do. Like, just basically look back on things that was progressing you within that day, so that way you come into a stronger tomorrow. It's like a reflection time, because I used to write it all out, but now I just don't write it out. I just think it out and just kind of throw it in the trash. It's a less thing to bottle in, just deep thought, recycle, get it out, throw it in the trash. Like, man, by the end of the day, I done let go of everything. I'm not bottling anything at all. I get it all out when I can, so I can go have a peaceful sleep. I don't want nothing irritating me, because at the end of the day, I just fixate. If I got something on my brain, you don't want to fixate. So get into a habit of letting things go at the end of the day. But, but yeah, that is a part of life, though. Death is a part of life. And I don't know, but just when I was in deep thought about that, that really brought a reality check in my head. And I was like, just talking to my friend, explaining it, like, man, that was a good thought process that I had going there. Because, see, I like getting the deep thought about that and just separating everything, just breaking it down, But people really do live with more regret. But the thing is they bottle that regret instead of letting it out. So, therefore, they're making their mental just go on a more of a decline than what it already is. Because, like I said, regret hits harder. And if regret comes to your face and slaps the hell out of you, well, you're just going to go in more of a decline, because unless you take it out, unless you get it out or go to therapy and make peace with the regret, it's going to bug you every single day. And then you're going to hide behind stuff the whole time to mask the regret so you can forget, until something equivalent or the same thing happens again. Then you're reminded of it once again. And then regret hits you 10 million times harder. And then you just go back and mask it. That's the cycle we learn. We learn all this as a kid, man. There's so much toxicity that we are taught as kids. But we don't know how to let it go. Because, face it, we fear of questioning life. We fear questioning what our authorities, guardians, parentals have taught us. We fear it because it is of the unknown. And people fear the unknown. But let me tell you this. When you go towards the unknown, it's going to open your eyes on a whole lot. You're going to see things that you've never seen before. You're going to start feeling things that you have never seen before. Let me tell y'all this. Have y'all ever had, like, someone, like, constantly bug you? Oh, man, I felt that. It almost made me cry, I swear. It almost made me cry. Yeah, almost. Yes, it did. I swear. Yes. Have y'all ever met someone like that? Listen, now I know because, before I got help, I thought it was the most annoying thing until I was able to identify, that type of behavior. This is a desensitized person trying to find emotions, and they are trying to discover it in their own dysfunctional way. So therefore, when they find something that makes them kind of think that they have found it, they're going to want compliments from it. I discovered it. I found it. Just give them the recognition that they want. Give them it. Who cares? Give them it. Let them have it. Let them feel good. because they're trying their dang hardest to go deep within themselves with whatever dysfunctional mentality that they are doing, to find it, you know? I mean, some people have it worse than others. I mean, shoot. The other day, like I met this dude for a reason, man. And he was actually telling me about some groups. I'm thankful they're doing groups right now. It's yeah, dude's I guess he got schizophrenia. He had some other stuff too, but he had a big drug problem back in the day, and like it really fucked him up. You know, it fucked him up a lot, and where now, you know, and like I could see a lot. I don't know, it was like memory issues and all this stuff, and you know, just hearing his story and just hearing how, you know, thankful he is for stability, because he got a gym membership and everything. And I told him, yo, anytime you feel like relapsing or anything, you let me know. Like, he got my number and everything. He wants to get a tie-dye shirt from me and stuff, and I thought that was pretty cool. But to be honest, man, shoot, I'll probably make him it for free. Dude been through hell and back, man. You've been through hell and back. Here, take this shirt, man. You good on my part, you know. I want to see you succeed, you know. Anytime you feel like relapsing or anything, take a look at that shirt, man. Take a look at that shirt. Because that's one thing I'm finding, man. When you give something from your heart, it has way more value than currency, than what you spent on to buy that thing. You start to remember the more sentimental things than stuff that you spent, because guess what? A lot of the that you spent money on, where does it go? That shit goes up in the trash eventually, gets donated somewhere, goes to the thrift store because you got to make room for more stuff. But guess what? It's the sentimental things that end up hitting the heart, you know? I can't take that. No, some really nice dude gave that to me for free. I'm not giving that away. Because you ain't never had some kindness hit you like a motherfucker like that, you know? It's because we lack it, man. The world lacks kindness. The world lacks congratulating people and being proud of people, man. It doesn't matter if you participate in whatever activity it was. Give praise where praise is due. Like, you know, if someone's happy, let them be happy. Lift them up even higher if you got to. If you have an opportunity to do so, do it. But the thing is we live in a world where there's too much pride, too much ego. Man, I need money for that, blah, blah, blah. I need money, blah, blah, blah. Listen here. Think of it like this. You're already making enough money to survive, right? You're making enough money to survive, right? You also, you know, you want to invest that money too. I'm going to tell you that right now. Invest some of that money that you are using to survive. Use that excess to invest, okay? Now, also, you know, get into a hobby. Get that hobby going. That hobby's going to give you sanity, stability, you know. But now, you want to be on a point where you're able to afford your hobby and also, you know, continuing to invest as well, you know. You always want to be investing your money. Don't be crazy, man. Don't be crazy. And, but you don't want is over see, the way that I look at it is like, you know, when I have been on my own, surviving, living on pinches, you know, when I learned how to money manage through my casework, I really discovered the value of the dollar and how important it is to survive in this fucked up world we live in. This fucked up world we live in where we take advantage of the people that are struggling and everything. I found out how to do that through hell and back, okay? And when I found out the value of a dollar, I ain't gonna lie. Like, man, if I was charging an arm and a leg for my shirt, like $20, like I was talking to my friend, $20, you know, man, I could charge my shirt for $20. People will have no problem spending $20 on one shirt, because guess what? That's what they get when they go to the mall. They're already going to spend $20. Like, Well, I mean, I could spend $20 at the mall, support a guy who's just getting richer and richer off my money. Or I can just give my $20 to this person who just made this homemade shirt for me. You know? But it's like, look at how much profit that $20 bill is giving you, man. Monopolize. You know? Yes, you can charge for time and all that stuff, but how stable is that time making it for you, though? You know? How stable is it making you? Doesn't that feel good to know that you're investing your time into something creative and happy and makes you feel good? I made that. Don't that make you happy? You know? You're going to charge for your happy time. Guess what that's going to create? It's going to create stress. You're going to be dealing with people that are more of a demand. Because I tell you, if you get a shirt from me, you might be waiting. Because I do it on my time. I do what I want. You just pick them 3 colors. I do it on my time. I do what I want with it. I make it look good. You don't get to pick the design and shit. This $10 shirt. Freedom. Freedom of me. Freedom of my artistic creativity. I'm just wanting to make what I want to make. And when I get to it, I'll get to it. You know? I ain't going to be doing demand bullshit, because guess what's going to happen? Because I tried that with bullshit that I've sold in the past. Too much demand, too much this, too much that. I remember one of my friends, you know, when I was, because the thing is like I was cleaning out my car and I found some of these prayer beads that I was making at one point. And I remember, geez Louise, I was going to charge some money for this. Like, I'm like, yeah, man, I'm getting all the materials pretty cheap. You know, it don't take no thing to make these real quick. But man, I can make like a big profit off it. Like, I mean, it was monopolized money, but it was at a low price. It was like, you know, like $10, $15 a necklace or something like that. But the thing is I was getting the materials like, you know, really, really cheap. And, you know, it's like, you know, looking back on it, I'm glad I didn't go through with it, really. I had necklaces made up, but the thing is I just didn't have the effort to put in to go communicate and take, you know, monopolize the money like it was nothing. I don't know how to do that bullshit, you know? All I know is when it comes to my shirts, I feel great. I'm doing it with effort and everything, you know? And for a cheap, affordable price, too, because at the end of the day, the next guy's got to survive, too. I make enough money to support the hobby to keep me going, you know? That's about it, you know? That's all I need. I just want the money to support the hobby so I can continue to stay a stable-minded person, you know? I want to make my caseworker proud, you know? If I ever have to go back to Advantage, I want my documents to be blossomed. You know, I want it to flourish. I want them to see how much progress I made since COVID happened and I stopped going to Advantage, you know? I want my caseworker's mind to be blown, you know, how much progress I made without her, you know. My caseworker, she was everything, man. I really depended on her when I was homeless, when I was mentally out of it. You know, I really depended on my caseworker and therapist, man, because it was basically life or death, man. Like, I was fucked up in the head, man. Thank you so much for people who go to school for these selfless occupations, because you're changing fucking lives, man. You're changing fucking lives. You don't get paid the amount that you fucking deserve. People say, that's why therapists make a lot of money. Puh, they don't get paid a fucking enough. Now, you imagine, you're a therapist, right? You're taking in everyone's hell. You're You're nothing but a mediator. Therapists don't get paid than what they deserve. They don't get paid shit. They deserve to be paid a lot fucking more. Because can you imagine, not only are you just seeing one patient, you're seeing several different patients throughout the day. So you're taking hell. Eventually, that's just going to wear and tear, man. Wear and tear. Because you got to remember, you're just an individual. You're just a human. You're flawed. We're all flawed. And that's one thing that the therapists acknowledge, because I tell you, when you talk to a really good therapist, you know, one that's not in it for money, one that just doesn't really pay attention to their patients, because that's one thing I'll tell you. There are some, as a kid who was in and out the hospital, man, I'm going to tell you this. A lot of those therapists don't give a fuck. They are there for a fucking paycheck. They don't give a fuck about your kid. If you drop your kid off at the hospital, they don't give a fuck about your kid. I'm going to tell you that right now. All they do is create a group, let the kids talk. All right, session over. They're just there for fucking money. They don't fucking care. They don't fucking care when they come in like that. Because guess what? They use you as lab rats. They use you as lab rats. I will never, ever, ever forget being a fucking middle school kid in the fucking hospital, pumped up on Adderall when I didn't need Adderall. I will never forget. They were trying to figure out what was wrong with me. So what did they do? Well, let's just give him some Adderall. See how he reacts. I was paranoid all fucking day. All fucking day. Like I thought I was going to die that day. That stuff had my heart racing like crazy. And I remember just sitting in the sitting room where we had the TV, and I was just focusing on my heart rate the whole day. I will never forget that. James, come on, time for group. Okay. Man, I was so slow with my walk because my heart was beating like a mother. And I'm just trying to stay alive. Like, man, then they don't give a fuck about your kid. They don't give a And the thing that I don't understand is how can these motherfuckers do that? Know that shit's going down. How the fuck can they keep it going, you know? I understand a lot of people are warped in their mind as it is. Yeah, we're helping them. We're just giving them medicine. But there are some motherfuckers who know what the fuck's going on, and they don't care. All they care about is results, statistics, and advancing by using the innocent life of a child, you know? Y'all motherfuckers want to see something dark? I don't recommend watching the bullshit if you are sensitive, because, to be honest, I had to shut the shit off. But it really takes you back. It takes you in hospitals back in the day. I think it was based in the 80s, or was it the 70s? I don't remember. But it takes you in the hospital as a kid, where the kids go, you know. You talk about a fucked up documentary, man. I'll never forget watching that. I had to shut that shit off, man. I could not, because I tell you, it was a lot worse than, what I went through. It was way a lot worse, man. Thing is, when I was a kid and I was in the hospital, there was a lot of overdose from kids. And, at the time, I didn't know what an overdose was. I'll never forget, I met a guy named PJ. He was older than me. He was my roommate. And he educated me on what overdosing was and stuff. And the thing is, I'm an impressionable kid, I did not have, my father, he was always working. He was never really active in our life. He was active when he could. But the thing was, it was hard for him too, because he was always working. Believe it or not, guys, you can be a provider to a family and not be considered a father. I know it sounds harsh, but it's true. Because to be a father, you have to make time for your kids. You made the responsible choice to have kids. Therefore, you have to make time for what you have created. You brought an innocent life in your life. You should be doing everything in your power, not only to provide, but to create nothing but a stable environment for those innocent lives that you have brought into the life. But, but my dad, he did a wonderful job, because, for crying out loud, from growing up without a father, that's what my dad did. He grew up without a father, he grew up without, and my dad, you guys think my story's crazy, inspiring, and bullshit. Shoot, my dad has a crazy, inspiring story, and, he's been through hell. And been through hell. Hell. Deep, dark crevices, And, but he did everything in his power to make a difference than what he was used to, And that's what you got to remember with your parents. They tried. They tried their damn best. You can't hold them accountable for trying their damn best. If you look at how
how their household was and how their stories were when they would reminisce and compare it to where you were. And if it didn't change, be the difference. Be the fucking difference. Be the example that they can learn from. You got to remember, guys, this all goes down to a mental aspect of everything, man. Your mental is precious. We don't understand it. That's the problem with society. We don't understand the bullshit. So what do? We just continue dysfunctional traditions over and over and over until there's someone who identifies the bullshit and says, y'all motherfuckers crazy. I'm about to change y'all's fucking life because this is bullshit. But yeah, so I was a kid. I was impressionable, PJ, I thought PJ was the coolest guy ever. He inspired me to work out with him. We would work out every day, go play pool in the pool hall, He was just always teaching me stuff. He was older than me too. He was in high school. I was just in middle school. But I thought he was the coolest guy ever, man. I remember we would get a deck of cards, right? And we would just do push-ups all day in our room. We would just do push-ups all day. And he just inspired the hell out of me. And I was like, man, all I could think in my head, I want to be like PJ. I want to be like PJ. PJ is cool. PJ is cool. And I ended up overdosing, ended up getting sent back to the hospital. And then when I got sent back, PJ sat by me and said, dude, what are you doing back here? I'm like, I tried to be like you. We said, what do you mean? I overdosed. And he was like, no, dude, don't do that. Don't do that. And that's when he's kind of, we kind of laughed about it because, we were all kids. They were like, wow. They even titled it. They were like, oh, don't pull a James, guys. Don't pull a James. But the thing is it was just me being impressionable. And I tell you, when I overdosed, that was the most scariest thing I have ever experienced. I will never forget the ambulance. Everything was like, it was like a tunnel. Everything was going black. Everything was tunneled. And I'll never forget that. Having to drink the charcoal, all that stuff, and just getting sent back to the hospital, I was just trying so hard to be like PJ because PJ was, that positive. Well, he wasn't really a positive. He was a dysfunctional kid himself, but he was as positive as it got for me at that time. Because I tell you guys this, and the funny thing is it's actually in movies where people start saying stuff like that, like, I'm not going to lie. When I was in the hospital, that was the most comforting experience ever when it comes to my surroundings. Because I was around people who were just like me. Just like me. There was no picking on. There was one guy who picked on me, though. But to be honest, he was kind of he was not nice. And to be honest, I honestly don't know why they put him in our thing. But he was like very tall. I think he was the oldest one out of everyone. It's like, man, shouldn't this dude be with the adults? Like, what the fuck? Why is he in here? Like, but I think he was probably at the max age of what they could get into the youth part of the hospital. But this dude was crazy tall, crazy strong, and for a while, he kept pushing me like all the time until I just said something to him. This little short middle schooler, because like he towered over me. And I was just like, dude, why the fuck are you so mean to me? Like, why are you doing that to me like all the time? Like, and then he eventually just stopped. I think. I don't know. It's kind of a blur. I don't even remember what the guy looked like. I remember what PJ looked like, though. I remember what PJ looked like, but I don't remember that tall guy. But he wasn't nice to anybody. And see, that's the thing, like, the environment creates the child. That's something that, guardians, parents, whatever you grew up with, that they have trouble identifying that. Because, they're used to just sweeping everything under the rug. The thing is they're like, they're comparing it to how they used to be. But the thing that they can't, the thing that they struggle with comparing is this stable for my child? Yeah, it's a better environment than what I grew up in, but is it stable? See, that's one thing that we don't teach people. It's about a stable environment. Stable environment. We don't teach people that. I was having a conversation today with these new people at work. Jeez Louise, where was I going at? See, my mind just gets all sporadic. I just end up going all over the place. Can't even keep my dang subjects right. But yeah, stable environment is very, very crucial. That's why basically, if you got a choice, just stay away. Just stay away. Just stay away until you know dang well you got your shit together. Because when another life is put in, that's another thing of food on the plate that you gotta be responsible for. It's another fucking plate. More food on your plate, and you got an additional plate. You know? For the same concept when it comes to overeating food at a buffet. Oh yeah, free food, I'm about to eat this. And then you fill your plate up and then you're full. Yeah, you still got all this food on your plate. That's how people live life. They live life like that. They indulge. And they don't understand that they are consuming more than they can eat. Because literally, when you're on a mental decline, it's easier to go on a mental decline than it is to overcome the decline. Because when you're walking up the hill, it's hard as hell. But man, it's easy as hell to go down, though. You know? And that's what happens, man. That's why we have more dysfunction than we do stability in society. Because people prefer to live on the decline because there's substances and, you know, bad habits that can just mask the decline as you're riding on down. You could just be cruising on down, but then, you know, you got people at the gym, in the library or something, just working their butt off to get out of the decline. Well, the thing is, as a human, we are always declining. We are always declining. As soon as we wake up, we are declining because of the conditioning we had as a kid. We had as a kid, it's been normalized. All that dysfunction and bullshit, it's all been normalized. It's all been normalized for us. So naturally, when we wake up, we are in a negative state of mind. Naturally. Because it's what we were taught as a kid. Everything was taught as a kid. You know, you guys got to remember, man. The environment is everything. It's very crucial to the mind. What you learn in the very beginning of everything, that shit sticks, man. That shit sticks. But that's why people wake up naturally on negative. Because we are more surrounded by negative than we are positive. Some people wake up in the negative mind state and they just want to be like, well, I'm going to have a negative day. And they take advantage of the substances like cigarettes, alcohol, pills, blah, 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 to mask it and just ride it out, you know. But if they didn't have their cigarettes, alcohol, weed, pills, video games, Netflix, you know, if they didn't have all that, how would they take their day then, you know? It's one thing you got to remember, man. Our society is built on nothing but corruption. But you can correct it. You just got to go the opposite direction because soon you'll find out. Everything we were taught was just to keep us coasting on the decline. Now, what we teach kids now, those kids are just cruising on the decline at a very young age. Because now they're all building addictions as a young, 3, 4-year-old, 5-year-old. Just coasting on the decline. If they're raised on the decline going that fast, they ain't going to complain about nothing because they don't even know that certain emotions even exist. That's why you got these young kids, you know, hitting early 20s, that lack communication skills for days. They can listen, try to find understanding, but will they? Will they understand, or will they be in constant confusion? You know, as we progress in life and advance on the decline, you know, you're just making zombies. That's all you're doing. Man, no. Society, man. Society. I can talk about it all the time. That's one thing my caseworker told me not to talk about, too. But the thing is I'm not trying to figure anything out no more. See, back when I was with my caseworker, all I was doing was trying to figure out society and find algorithms to create a reason for everything, you know? And that's one thing that my caseworker had to really beat into me pretty much. James, you're never going to figure it out. You're never going to figure it out. All I wanted to do was just find a reason for everything, why things were the way they were. But guess what? You're never going to figure it out. It's dysfunction. Complete dysfunction. There is no reason for anything. There is no reason for the reason why that person had the audacity to do that. Or where did they get the entitlement to do that? There is no entitlement. You're not that person. You don't know what they're going through. You don't know why they reacted the way they did, but it all goes back to the self. It all goes back to the individual in the battle that they are facing with themselves. You're never going to figure it out. That's why dating in itself is dysfunction. And oh yeah, that's another thing that I just thought about today. When you are in dysfunctional practices, like how dating is nowadays and everything, you got to remember, guys, if dating has never worked for you or anything, there's a reason for that. Because you can analyze the dysfunction within it. Because guess what? The dysfunctional is patient with the dysfunctional, you know. You got the women who play the mind games, you got the men who play the mind games, right? They play the mind games. Dating is nothing but a big game. It is a gamble of your own sanity. How far are you willing to go? Roll that dice. Poof. Because it is a gamble. You are gambling with your own stability. And the thing is if you want what you want, you're willing to go down on the decline ride. You're ready to cruise down or maybe go fast. Some people like to live on the fast lane and just floor it. Like, they don't give a what they get into. As long as they're getting into something, they're flooring the gas pedal. Then you got ones that just coast. Talk to, multiple people, Just play the dysfunctional game. See who gives in today, who's giving in today. Well, Sally's not acknowledging anything that I'm responding, so I'm going to go to Maggie. Okay, Maggie's not wanting to respond, so I'll just go down the list. I'll go to Roberta. Let's go down. Okay, Roberta's not wanting to decline up. I got a hook. It looks like Alicia wants to hang out tonight. Cool. That's all dating is. It's all dating is. It's all friends is. It's all a fucking dysfunctional piece of shit. That's all it is. And the thing is the more you participate with these abnormal, dysfunctional ways of life, you're creating normalization in your mind that this is how it is. That's one thing I cannot stand. Cannot stand that. Because there's sometimes I can identify someone likes the hell out of me. But the thing is they want me to approach them as everyone else does. And I'm like, fuck that. I'm not about to fucking do that. I won't and I will not. I have been fucking torched in the past by trying to. The thing is I was just too damn emotional for anything. I was always hurt all the damn time when I had a crush on that person. No names are being said. But I will never forget. I know that I will never forget. The lesson has been learned. I forgive, but I will never forget. Now, I do understand that they are in a dysfunctional environment. They were actually high rank when it came up to it all, because there is gates to the downtown life. But you got to remember, you can't bring emotions to what everyone is running away from, That's what I mean. That's what people do dating, man. Dating is nothing but running away from the emotions. And you can't bring emotions in the ball game. The only way you're going to play is if you leave your emotional well-being aside and you're ready to get down with the gambling. Because that's all it is. Gamble that sanity. You're gambling that sanity away. How far are you willing to go? Oh, yeah, that girl's looking real good. Man, I got to do anything that's in my power to get her. You are literally going against what's supposed to be natural, for you to constantly build yourself, but you're fighting it. You feel hurt, you feel this, you feel neglected, you feel this, but you don't acknowledge it because you're in the gamble. You're in the long haul. I've already wasted so much time doing this. I'm not giving up now. They gamble and gamble and gamble and gamble and gamble until they get. And when they finally get, they try to have ownership of it. Because they have went through so many other people during the dysfunctional process of waiting. Man, I had to go through Maggie and Alicia so many times just to get you. I didn't even want to go with Maggie and Alicia, but I kept waiting for you. It's like, what do you want? Pat on the fucking back? Like, dysfunctional is dysfunctional. The dysfunctional is patient with the dysfunctional. See, that's one thing I did not have. I did not have patience. I acknowledged the disrespect. I hated the mental mind games. The name calling, I hated that bullshit too, because, oh my gosh, there was one woman, who I started getting a liking for one day, and, this was in the very beginning of me getting help, and I remember her being mean, but the thing is that she was joking about it, and she really thought that was cute, until one day I just ignored her, like, in person, like, you really think you're going to say hey to me after the bullshit that you said? Like, fuck that bullshit. You are a mean motherfucker. You are mean. Like, but see, the thing is, we normalize the mean jokes and all that other bullshit. They're just playing with you. Oh, she just likes you. She likes me. Then why the fuck is she so mean to me? Man, she just likes you. She's just playing hard to get. It's a game. You see, the dysfunctional knows how to identify the game. They know how to play the game. They know how to gamble with the game. But see, you're different. If you don't know the game and you don't know the lingos, you don't know none of that, you don't know how to play the game. So it's best to just stay away from the game because there's no cheat codes. That's why I always use cheat codes on video games, because I fucking don't have the patience to learn the fucking game. Just give me the cheat codes. I just want to play to have a little fun for like 3, 4, 5 minutes and then continue on with my fucking day. But the thing is, if you want to gamble your sanity for comfort, content with beauty and whatever, well, there is no cheat codes to that, because it's just a never-ending gamble. Just like, poker and all that other gambling materials, dating is the same way. It's all the same way. Life is a do-it-yourself project, guys. No matter how many times you date, blah, 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 you are meeting this person in a dysfunctional environment. Therefore, their dysfunction becomes your dysfunction. And therefore, you create a cesspool of nothing but dysfunction until it's all corrected. But the thing is, a lot of them, they don't want to correct it. Because that's one thing that is very common when it comes to the dating, is the bad habits. The bad habits. Yeah. They have to have bad habits in common. And that's one thing that I struggled with, because I remember my early 20s and I was trying to do the dating sites, and, You mean to tell me you don't drink? Or you don't do drugs? You don't even smoke? What? Do you know how to live life? I'll never forget when that motherfucker said that shit. I'm just like, what the fuck? Yes, I know how to live life. That's why I don't do the bullshit. What the fuck? I'll never forget that shit, too. That was funny as hell. Like, you don't drink. You don't smoke. You don't do drugs. Do you know how to live life? And the thing is like, see, I was such a mean motherfucker anyway. Like, in my 20s, like, I was freaking mean. I'll never forget the bitch that used me for fucking free pizza. I will never forget that. I cussed that bitch out. I cussed her out so bad. Like, because it's like, this bitch really lied to me. This bitch really lied to me. Because the thing is, talking, blah, blah, blah. This woman agreed with everything that I had to say. And I'm thinking in my head, wow, this woman's pretty cool. She likes the same damn things I do. That's pretty damn cool. So we go to the local restaurant because I'm like, man, this woman is cool. I've never met someone like this. This woman likes everything that I like. Holy crap. And the thing is we talked for like 2 weeks. I told her, meet me at this pizza place. I want to buy you pizza. And she's like, okay. She meets the conversation's going great. We're talking like crazy. But as soon as that pizza comes out, she stops talking to me. She pulls out the phone. She just texts the whole time while eating the pizza slice. Didn't say 2 words no more. I tried to talk. She was very to the point with everything. She done got her pizza. She done got it. Boy, I paid for that pizza. I did. But guess what? She got cussed the fuck out when we were done. Cussed the fuck out. She not only got... I don't know if I cussed her out in person or did I wait. Probably waited because it was the first time I ever been used, so it blew me for a shock. I'm like, what the? So I probably sent it in my car. But that was the very first time I got used because I was just like, what the? Well, yeah, I cussed her the fuck out through text because I don't think it was in face. Because now that I'm looking back on it and I'm kind of reliving the scenario, I was more shocked that it was happening because I got played. And that's exactly the gamble. See, it hurts when you first get played, don't it? But then what do the other people think of? Revenge, James. You got to keep playing. You got to do the revenge. When it happens to you next time, just put the in her place. See, that's the problem. That's the problem with society. Everything is done out of spite. Quit doing stuff out of spite. You just make the world an even worse place. You're just mentally breaking someone who's already mentally broken. You're just breaking them even more. Why continue? Because you're breaking yourself in the process by playing the gamble. Jeez, man. But people don't see it like that. They don't see it like that. But I'm about to hit 35 because that's what the time goes by on my recorder. I love this recorder. Oh yeah, when I go to Illinois, expect a couple live podcasts with the DJ Marmalade. When I go to Illinois, those podcasts are going to be thebomb.com. Swear. Anyway, I'm out. Y'all stay positive. Peace.